If you find there's somebody claiming to be a child of God, I'm one of them, I'm a member of the church, but it's just perambulating, just roaming about, and it's wasting time, and it's not working at all. No parasite. Self-reliant believers, standing believers, steadfast believers, the people that work, and they work hard with their head, with their mind, with their heart, and with their hands. It said in verse 10, for even when we are with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat. The instruction to shun indolence is not optional. Neither should provisions or privileges or prosperity or position make us idle or indolent. That we have everything going on well for us does not mean that we should become idle. In the privileged position in which you find the people I spoke to you about, that is the Jacob and the Joseph and Joshua and Jehoshaphat and Jehu and Jonadab and Josiah, Jeremiah, Job, James and John, even the Lord Jesus Christ, in the privileged positions they found themselves, they were still men of activity and men of ability. At all times, in all situations, we must need to find something doing. In Paul's ministry, he did not allow people, members or leaders, to cover up their laziness with the message of love and caring and generosity. The command to shun idleness is not something of personal or private view or opinion. It's a commandment that is fully backed up by the scriptures and by the authority of the Lord Jesus Christ himself. And you'll find that God gave work to the man before he fell, when he was all righteous, all pure, all holy, all sanctified, without the stain of sin in his life. There was this responsibility of work given to him. What are we learning? We're learning that even after we're saved, we're born again, we're children of God, we're sanctified, we're holy, we're pure, we're sinless, spotless, we're part of the glorious church. We must work. We must not become parasites, leaning upon other people. You must become independent and self-reliant. You must be working with your hand and working with your energy. You must do something so that you'll be able to give to other people. That we're saved doesn't mean that we cannot work. We must work. And that we're even working for God in the church doesn't mean that we'll be lazy or idle. We're going to work. That we're doing soul winning. I'm going about, I'm distributing tracts, and I'm preaching everywhere, and I'm telling people come to the Lord, and I'm praying for people. You still must work. That's what we're learning. When Adam and Eve were placed in the Garden of Eden, the Lord gave them work to do. In fact, look at Genesis chapter 1 in verse 27. Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them and said, God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. That word, subdue it. Examine it. Dig it up. Do some research. Find some things, some minerals that are hidden in the ground for your good. And as you work and dig and excavate, and then you subdue it, you'll be able to have dominion over everything on there. Then it says, have dominion over the fish of the sea. If you are folding your hand in your house, and you are totally idle and indolent, if you are lazy, not working at all, how would you be able to have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every creeping thing that moveth upon the earth? Have you ever thought about this? What I'm going to tell you now. That it says in verse 27, and God made man in his own image. Think about God. Is God lazy? Is God idle? Is God jobless? Or does God work? Look at verse 31. And God saw everything that he had made. God had been working. God had been working. And God made us in his own image. If he made us in his own image and he was working, then we ought to work. Turn to John chapter 5 verse 17. John chapter 5, verse 17. Please remember that we're made in the image of God. And as we're made in the image of God, then we're told about the characteristics of God. We're told in John chapter 5, verse 17. But Jesus answered them, my Father worketh hitherto, and I work. God worked. And because God worked, we are also called upon to work. We're made in the image of God. And even if there were no fall, even if Eve did not yield to the voice, the subtlety of the serpent will still be working, because God worked and God keeps on working. And Jesus said, my Father worketh hitherto. And then I'm following after my Father, I work. Are you a Christian? Jesus worked, you must work. He went about doing something. Go about and do something. Something profitable. Something purposeful. Something that will yield something for you. That will be able to feed yourself and feed your family. And so we learn that man was to investigate. He was to study. He was to examine. He was to know the characteristics of God's creation and to have dominion over them. Man is not working because of the fall, but because he is created with the ability to work. After the fall, God reiterated and repeated the need for man to work. Also, after the deliverance of the children of Israel from captivity, the captivity of the Egyptians, they were to walk through the land, though the land of Canaan was one, flowing with milk and honey. The Lord told them, I will take you to the land. And the land is flowing with milk and honey. And that means when I get over there, flowing with milk and honey, we don't have to do anything at all. Yes, you still have to do a lot. A lot you still have to do. You still have to conquer the land. And you still have to fight. And you still have to survive. And you still have to live a life that is independent and self-reliant. And that's going to demand you're going to work. When God has given us privileges to live in a bountiful land, in a place that is filled with milk and honey, like the children of Israel will still have to work. They were to work most of the days and rest only one day. Only one day in the week, which was their Sabbath day. What we learn from all this is that the provision and the goodness of the Lord does not excuse us from working, does not encourage laziness. Man is not expected to be idle. Let's look at Psalm 104. Psalm 104. And we look at verse 23. Man goeth forth unto his work, and to his labor until the evening. That's the plan of God. It's been from the beginning, it continues until now, and it will continue until the Lord has come to take us home. Man continues, goes forth unto his work and to his labor until the evening. If we are children of God, then the Lord is expecting that we too will go to our labor. You wake up in the morning, and of course you are going to pray. Of course, you are going to read the Bible. Of course, you are going to have fellowship with the Lord. Of course, you are going to have your morning devotion. Of course, you are going to have your family devotion. And then after that, you go to your work. And then you work while you are there. You do real hard work. And you sweat, because it's in the sweat of your face, of your brow, that you will eat.